What Elon Musk's trillion means in real terms. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share New York app. Catapulted by the market debut of his rocket company SpaceX, Elon Musk is now the world's first trillionaire. That level of wealth, all owned by just one person, was once unfathomable. Before Friday, the trillion-dollar mark was reserved for measures like the GDP or staggering debt of a handful of major economies. And in the last decade alone, the value of some of the biggest companies to ever trade on the stock market. Musk's new title arrives amid a wider acceleration for the richest of the rich. Year after year, his former, although now very distant, Billionaires Club has reaped a growing number of members, from tech titans to celebrities. All the while, more and more people worldwide are struggling to pay their everyday bills. Many have decried the arrival of the first trillionaire as the latest and most alarming example of that wealth gap. The number 1 trillion is hard in itself for the human mind to comprehend. $1 trillion is 1,000 times greater than $1 billion, and 1,000,000 times more than $1 million. According to Forbes, Musk's net worth actually hit $1.1 trillion on Friday after SpaceX soared in its market debut. Most of that money is in stock. Still, here are some ways to think about how far $1 trillion could go. Read more. To the moon and back over 200 times. SpaceX's Starship rocket lifts off during a test flight from Starbase, Texas, Friday, May 22, 2026. AP photo / Eric Gay. File. SpaceX's Starship rocket lifts off during a test flight from Starbase, Texas, Friday, May 22, 2026. AP photo / Eric Gay. File. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Facebook. Copy link. Copied. Print. Email. X. LinkedIn. Blue Sky. Flipboard. Pinterest. Reddit. Read more. Thinking about the $1 trillion looks like is almost as astronomical as the interplanetary, and at this point, still far from realized, goals SpaceX has laid out for itself. In terms of physical cash, $1 trillion bills, laid end to end, would stretch nearly 97 million miles, or almost 156 million kilometers. That would account for the distance of more than 200 round-trip journeys to the moon, which NASA says sits an average of 238,855 miles, nearly 384,400 kilometers away from Earth. It would also surpass the roughly 93 million miles, about 150 million kilometers between Earth and the Sun. $122 for every person on Earth this Jan. 22, 2020. File. Photo shows the likeness of Benjamin Franklin on $100 bills in Dallas. AP photo / LM Otero. File. This Jan. 22, 2020. File. Photo shows the likeness of Benjamin Franklin on $100 bills in Dallas. AP photo / LM Otero. File. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Facebook. Copy link. Copied. Print. Email. X. LinkedIn. Blue Sky. Flipboard. Pinterest. Reddit. Read more. There are nearly 8.2 billion people living on Earth today, per the latest numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau. If $1 trillion was divided among the entire population, each person would receive almost $122. Double the GDP of South Africa. $1 trillion is more than double the annual GDP of South Africa, the country where Musk was born. According to 2026 numbers from International Monetary Fund, the nation's output of goods and services stands at nearly $480 billion. Only about 21 countries in the world have a GDP over the $1 trillion mark today. The US and China lead the pack at more than $32.38 trillion and $20.85 trillion, respectively, but that is far ahead of most other economies. Sign up for Morning Wire. Our flagship newsletter breaks down the biggest headlines of the day. Email address. Sign up by checking this box. You agree to AP's terms of use and acknowledge that AP may collect and use your data pursuant to our privacy policy. 2.5 million homes in the U.S. this April 13, 2019. Photo. shows rows of homes in suburban Salt Lake City. AP photo/Rick Bomer, file this April 13, 2019. Photo shows rows of homes in suburban Salt Lake City. AP photo/Rick Bomer. File add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Facebook, copy link, copied print, email X, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Flipboard, Pinterest, Reddit. Read more. Houses sold in the U.S. have a median sales price of about $403,200 per the latest numbers from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. With $1 trillion, you could buy nearly 2.5 million homes at that cost. 243 billion gallons of gas. The handle stands at the ready on a pump with the 3 grades of gasoline available at a pump at Shell Station Wednesday, June 10, 2026 in Inglewood, Colo. AP photo/David Zalubowski. The handle stands at the ready on a pump with the 3 grades of gasoline available at a pump at Shell Station Wednesday, June 10, 2026 in Inglewood, Colo. AP photo/David Zalubowski. Add AP News on Google. Add AP News as your preferred source to see more of our stories on Google. Share Facebook, copy link, copied print, email X, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Flipboard, Pinterest, Reddit. Read more. At current U.S. gas prices, which averaged at nearly $4.11 a gallon Friday per AAA, $1 trillion could buy more than 243 billion gallons of regular fuel. To help put that in context, that far surpasses the nearly 137 billion gallons Americans used on finished motor gasoline all last year. And prices at the pump were much less expensive in 2025. Steep oil prices, spanning from the U.S. and Israel's ongoing war against Iran, propelled the national average above $4 a gallon for the first time in 4 years. Over $700 billion ahead. The world's second richest person according to Forbes. The second richest person in the world today is Google co-founder Larry Page, who carried a net worth of nearly $294 billion as of midday Friday. That's $706 billion under the $1 trillion mark. In fact, the combined net worth as of Friday of the 4 men following Musk on Forbes' richest list, which, beyond Page, includes fellow Google co-founder Sergey Brin $271 billion, Amazon's Jeff Bezos $249 billion, and Oracle's Larry Ellison $232 billion, amounted to about $1.05 trillion. Those fortunes can oscillate by tens of billions of dollars by the day, or even a matter of hours. Musk's own net worth has rapidly ballooned in value. Just last year, his net worth sat at $342 billion per Forbes, up from $195 billion in 2024.